This guy has this really annoying thing when he's kissing. He has to put a plastic sheet between him and the girl. And why's that? Well, he has this superpower that guys absolutely hate, but girls dig it. Every time he touches a girl, she gets super excited in an instant. Even a black cat can't resist and reaches out its paw to him. Next thing you know, the cat is making all these crazy noises. This is 100 years into the future, mind you. With 8 billion people on the planet, everyone unlocks a random superpower when they turn 18. Some use their flying ability to be a rideshare driver, some light people's cigarettes with their fire control power, and there are even those who use their invisibility to shoplift. Having a superpower is pretty much the only way to get a job these days. Now there's this girl, Jen. She's the only one on the whole planet without a superpower. Despite that, she used to have this rich, good-looking boyfriend. But as soon as he finds out she's super powerless, he dumps her faster than you can say goodbye. In this world where everyone has superpowers, Jen goes for a job interview. The female manager asks her why she wants to work there.
I don't, but I need money to live.
Would you say your greatest weakness is?
Selfish and lazy. I lack ambition. I am worried I'm a little bit racist.
The manager has a superpower too. She can make people tell the truth in front of her. Later that night, Jen is taking a ride home. Right after she gets in the car, the driver asks her, "Do you want to die?"
No.
And he's not kidding around. He has the power of precognition. Thanks to the driver's warning, Jen manages to avoid a disaster. When she gets home, the place is packed. It's her half-sister Andy's 18th birthday. That means Andy is about to unlock a superpower. Mom suggests Andy try to turn on the TV from a distance. Andy waves her hands, but nothing happens. Their dad thinks maybe it's telekinesis, but after trying for a while, still no luck. Mom quickly comforts Andy, saying superpowers don't always show up right on time. Might be a few days or weeks late. Jen, watching from the side, can't help but feel a bit smug. Finally, someone else is in the same boat as her. This gets Andy really mad. She's about to go to her room when all of a sudden she starts screaming with joy. Turns out Andy's superpower is super strength. She can just rip the fridge door right off like it's nothing. All the relatives are gasping in amazement. Jen, on the other hand, is looking at her with nothing but envy. Andy then has her mom sit on the couch and easily lifts it up, showing off big time. Everyone's happy for her. But Jen just feels more left out. She leaves the house and heads to her ex-boyfriend's place, hoping for some comfort. But as soon as she walks in, she sees a beautiful girl sitting there. Her ex-boyfriend, after dumping her, wasted no time finding a girl who can shapeshift. They even start showing off their relationship right in front of Jen.
My turn!
Maybe next time?
After all these blows, Jen goes to her best friend, Carrie. Carrie has this crazy superpower of soul possession. She uses it to win every lawsuit in the legal world.
Oh, fuck yourselves!
They decide to go to a place called the Exploration and Treatment Center. This place claims to help people who haven't unlocked their superpowers with a 95% success rate. The salesperson is talking big, making Jen all excited.
So our packages start at 9,500.
That's like £100,000. Jen decides to try and figure out a way to unlock her superpower on her own. Luckily, Carrie has a plan. The first step to unlocking a superpower, eating spicy food. Jen looks at the menu and spots the cayenne pepper with a spiciness level of over 8,000. She tells the waiter to bring a big plate. After wolfing it down, her face is as red as a tomato. She rushes to the supermarket and chugs a whole gallon of milk, but nothing, no superpower. Next step, getting a tooth pulled. Jen's terrified of the dentist, but she's determined to get a superpower. So she goes to the dental clinic. As soon as she walks down the hallway, she hears this strange music. She looks around, but can't find where it's coming from. The dentist smiles and explains that her superpower is playing music that matches the patient's mood. As the dentist walks towards her, before Jen knows it, she's pushed down onto the dental chair. The dentist runs his finger along her teeth, and there's this kind of awkward, flirty vibe. And the music in Jen's head changes.
I'm so sorry.
The dentist picks up a syringe and whoosh, shoots out a thin stream of water. This scares Jen out of her wits. To calm herself down, she just swallows the sedative the dentist gives her. After the tooth is pulled, Jen is as docile as a lamb. Carrie sees this and immediately tells her boyfriend Cash to start Plan B. As soon as Jen and Carrie walk out of the hospital, Cash, dressed up like a terrorist with a mask and camo gear, comes up. He puts a bag over Jen's head and throws her into the trunk of a car. They're thinking that being in a really scary situation might force Jen's superpower to come out. But because Jen took the sedative, she's not scared at all. She even takes out her phone and starts calling her ex-boyfriend, saying all kinds of inappropriate things like,
Also, you've such a pretty cock, and
They have body image issues too.
Then, out of the blue, a tow truck shows up. Jen is stuck in the trunk while Carrie and Cash go to grab a bite. In that short time, the tow truck takes the car with Jen in it. When Carrie and Cash realize what's happened, Jen and the car are long gone. Carrie quickly calls her, "Send me your location so I can find you." But Jen just sends a dumb emoji. Carrie's like, "What the hell?" At this point, Jen is acting like she's drunk. She'd probably call anyone daddy if they asked. Carrie yells into the phone,
Just drop me a pin so I can come get you, Jennifer!
Finally, Jen sends the location. Carrie and Cash follow the address. But then another problem hits. Cash realizes he's lost the car keys, and Jen's sedative only lasts 4 hours. Carrie checks the time on her phone and sees that the sedative's wearing off. Just then, they hear Jen pounding on the trunk.
what do you mean you don't have the key? Get it!
Oh, you fucking punching me out!
Jen is trapped in the trunk. Cash quickly fetches a wooden plank and jams it into the gap of the trunk. Then, with a crack sound, the plank snaps into 2 pieces right away. Carrie hastily tells Jen that they have to find someone with great strength to lift the car hood. Upon hearing this, the first person that comes to Jen's mind is her sister Andy, but Jen shows a look of disgust and says she'd rather die than ask her for help. However, scarcely has she finished speaking when Andy, as if summoned, appears on the scene. Andy gloats and says to Jen, "As long as you admit that you're a good-for-nothing without superpowers, I'll lift the car hood for you." Jen is so angry that she almost bursts with rage. But in this narrow trunk, she feels more and more suffocated. In order to get out, she has no choice but to compromise.
Please save me from my own monumentally stupid choices.
As soon as Andy hears this, she realizes her trick has worked. She effortlessly lifts the car hood and sends it flying. Finally, Jen regains her freedom. On the way home, Jen suddenly remembers those explicit words she said to her ex-boyfriend on the phone before. She instantly feels that something is terribly wrong. Fortunately, her ex-boyfriend didn't answer the phone at that time, and she only left a voice message. After arriving home, in order to prevent her ex-boyfriend from hearing that voice message, Jen strips herself naked and takes a bunch of nude photos, then sends them all to her ex-boyfriend in one go, thinking that this trick can divert his attention from the voice message. Just then, out of the corner of her eye, she catches sight of her black cat, Blacky, which has actually turned into a human-like creature. Jen lets out a scream in horror. She quickly reaches out to cover her chest and rushes out of the room. Hearing the commotion, Carrie and Cash come running over in a hurry. They see Jen standing there, giggling. "I've finally awakened my superpower." After that, she lets go of her hands. Cash is so startled that he quickly covers his eyes. Jen excitedly tells Carrie, "My superpower is called magic boobs. As long as I take off my clothes, I can turn animals into humans." Jen immediately rushes out of the house. When she sees a dog, she directly lifts up her top. The dog is stunned by this scene. When the dog owner comes over, he is also left gaping in amazement, but awkwardly, the dog doesn't turn into a human as Jen has expected. Jen can only return home, down in the dumps. Now, let's talk about Carrie's side of the story. Her boyfriend Cash is already 25 years old, yet he is idle all day long. Carrie has long had the thought of breaking up, but they have been dating for 5 or 6 years, and she really doesn't know how to bring it up. Cash isn't stupid. He senses what his girlfriend is thinking. In order to save this relationship, Cash decides to form a team of vigilantes, dreaming of being like those superheroes in the Avengers and saving the world. Cash's superpower is Time Rewind, which allows him to turn back time. He posts a recruitment notice online, planning to find a group of people with superpowers who are willing to do heroic deeds. The first person can summon marine creatures from a distance. He stretches out his hand towards the window, and in the next second, the window shatters, and a half-dead salted fish is summoned by him. The second person is called the Wall Passer. However, this ability has a limitation. He can only pass through a wall once a day, and once he passes through, he can't come back. He can only get out of the wall the next day. The third person is the Laser Eye. His eyes can emit red light beams. Unfortunately, these beams only have light and no high heat temperature, but they are quite suitable for teasing cats and dogs. The fourth person is the 3D guy. His buttocks are like a 3D printer. As long as you tell him what you want, he immediately takes off his pants, And then, by gathering the imagination in his mind at his buttocks area, and with a bit of effort, like when using the toilet, with a click sound, a soldier figurine prints out from behind his buttocks. The fifth person who comes for the interview is the magnet girl. She can easily attract anything made of iron. Finally, there is the running guy. He seems quite reliable, although his running speed can't match that of a high-speed train. Compared with a greenskin train, it isn't much different. Cash customizes a handsome set of uniforms for everyone. They come to the back door of a bar. Cash thinks that the likelihood of illegal and criminal activities occurring in places like bars in the city is relatively high. So, Cash asks the wall passer to penetrate the bar wall first and secretly observe if there are any suspicious people inside. The wall passer is extremely excited. He thinks that after tonight, he will become as famous as Iron Man. He quickly takes off all his clothes, carefully inserts his hands into the wall, and then slowly pushes his whole body in. But halfway through, the wall passer starts shouting at the top of his voice, "Oh my God, my butt is too big and I'm stuck outside the wall." The wall passer's butt is stuck outside. Cash tells him to turn his butt a bit, saying that maybe he can get in by changing the angle. The wall passer tries his best to move his butt, but it turns out that he is stuck firmly in all 360 degrees. There is no way. He can only stay stuck in the wall like this until the next morning. But it's more than 10 degrees below zero outside. The wall passer's butt is shivering from the cold, and he is really worried that he might not be able to have children after this. The other team members can't wait any longer, so they set off first and continue to look for suspicious people outside. Cash is worried about the wall passer, so he stays where he is to accompany him. Not long after, Cash receives a message from the team members saying that they have gotten into a fight with a group of thugs outside. As soon as Cash hears this, he gets all excited. After saying a hasty goodbye to the wall passer's butt, he rushes towards the team members. The team members are in their first actual combat and have no combat experience. They are being pushed back step by step by the thugs. Seeing this, Cash quickly uses his time rewind superpower, hoping to help the team members return to the moment when they first met the thugs and start over. However, Cash's superpower has limitations. He can only rewind time by a maximum of 5 minutes. The team members have been punched several times by the thugs. As Cash gets nervous, his superpower becomes even weaker. The team members quickly tell Cash to stop rewinding time and come to their rescue. Just then, a thug notices that Cash is one of them and walks over angrily. When Cash sees this situation, his legs go weak with fear, and he turns around and runs away. After slinking home, he finds that his embarrassing fleeing scene has been filmed by a passerby with a mobile phone and posted online. On Jen's side, things aren't going well either. 2 days ago, the black cat came to Jen's doorstep. Thinking it was a stray cat, Jen kindly took it home, but who knew that the cat suddenly turned into a human? In order to figure out what was going on, Jen decides to help Blacky find its owner. Jen finds a veterinarian who can understand what animals are saying. The veterinarian can hear animals shouting in his ears throughout the day.
Please don't take my testicles.
I'm gonna scratch the shit out of you.
Even more incredibly, Jen sees a dog owner whose head is in the shape of a dog, but his body is human. The world is really full of wonders. After the veterinarian discovers that Blacky has awakened its superpower, it seems to have forgotten everything that had happened before. So he gives Blacky a full-body scan and finds a positioning chip in its body. Through the information on the chip, they find out the address of Blacky's owner. Jen and Blacky go to the address. Goodness, someone is actually holding a funeral for Blacky. The people nearby tell Jen that the owner passed away due to excessive grief over Blacky's disappearance. He specifically asked his relatives and friends to hold a separate funeral for Blacky after his death. Blacky is eager to figure out its own life story. As it is looking around, suddenly, it sees a puppy that seems a bit familiar. As soon as Blacky sees the puppy, an inexplicable anger wells up in its heart. It always feels that it and the puppy had been sworn enemies before. Maybe this puppy knows something about its life story. Taking advantage of the fact that others aren't paying attention, Jen secretly takes the puppy out of the funeral site and gives it to the veterinarian. The puppy says arrogantly that its name is Dog Lord. As long as you take me out for a fun day, I'll tell you Blacky's life story. Let's cut to the chase. The three of them take Dog Lord to a nightclub. As soon as Dog Lord enters the nightclub, tears well up in its eyes. It has been a long time since it has been able to get close to beautiful girls. It just regrets that it isn't in human form at the moment. After having enough fun, it keeps its promise and tells the truth. Blacky used to be a stray cat near the circus. Doglord then pitifully pleads with Jen and the others, "Please don't send me back to my owner. I want to be a free-roaming stray dog." But in the next moment, a shrill screeching of brakes is heard. Doglord dies on the spot and goes to the dog afterlife. It is finally completely free. Since Blacky's owner has passed away, Jen can't bear to let Blacky be homeless again. So she decides to officially adopt Blacky. However, Jen still can't get over the fact that she doesn't have superpowers. After much thought, she decides to go to the exploration clinic again. Even if she has to take out a loan, she is determined to get treatment. This is the first 4 episodes of the hilarious British TV series Extraordinary in 2023. Will Jen finally awaken her superpower? What wonderful stories will happen to Blacky, Carrie, and Cash? If you like this show, remember to type 1 in the comments section. If there are enough people, we'll continue to watch the remaining 4 episodes next time. See you next time.